Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang.
And I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Tonight, the grief and anger of a woman who tried to save her sister's life, but just could not.
And I heard her words telling me to go, so I ran, hoping he wouldn't shoot me in the back.
Another abusive husband, another woman murdered.
Also tonight, vaccine passports arriving. Quebec's is online today, Ontario's on the way.
Well, better late than never.
With an eye on challengers from both left and right, the Liberals released their platform.
It is responsible, it is prudent, and it is fully transparent.
And their fight is local, their concern global.
Now is the time that we need to be protecting our coastal ecosystems, not destroying them.
Can these Nova Scotians get politicians to act? This is The National. We are beginning tonight with a story of violence for one woman and her family, but it repeats a terrible pattern many Canadians will recognize and some may know all too well.
An abusive man, a traumatized intimate partner, and help too slow to arrive. Those stories don't always end in tragedy, but this one does. Charlene Graham was killed on Monday. Her family knew she was in trouble and tried to help. We know that because Charlene's sister Della told our Bonnie Allen, and Della knows because Della was there, doing what she could right to the bitter end.
Charlene Graham's family knew she was in danger. The 34-year-old teacher had just left her abusive husband, Delane Graham, and he was threatening her.
She lived in an abusive relationship and she couldn't get out.
Mary Morin says she and her daughter had called RCMP last week about a restraining order, but that Charlene had been too scared to file a formal complaint. She says her daughter started a new teaching job Monday, but then disappeared from the school. The family believes Delane abducted her in some way.
We were learning how to start fire in the bush.
He was also a school teacher, but they say controlling and jealous that Charlene was in a new relationship.
I said he'll never let her be happy. I just had a bad feeling.
Charlene's mother called RCMP for help just after 2 p.m. Monday and is frustrated police did not go to the campground where Charlene's estranged husband was living until after shots were fired.
This what makes me so angry because I was telling him, he said, I fear for my daughter's life right now.
The RCMP confirms it had received 2 previous calls about the Grahams and knew there were allegations of harassment. They say officers had started making inquiries about Charlene's whereabouts, but the shooting happened here 34 minutes later. However, Charlene's sister, Della Duquette, had already rushed to the campground. She saw Delane stabbing Charlene and tackled him.
Then he stabbed me in my hand and it made me let go a little bit and he got away. And then I went back to her and I said, "Sister, are you okay, sister?"
She'll never forget Charlene's dying words.
"Go, sis. It's okay, I'm gonna die." And then he came with the gun. She knew he had it, and he shot her right in front of me.
At that moment, Duquette knew she could die too.
And I heard her words telling me to go, so I ran, hoping he wouldn't shoot me in the back.
Delane Graham shot himself instead. Charlene's family says they weren't able to save her life, but hope sharing her story might encourage others to find help to stay safe. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
Now, there's no national number for intimate partner violence, but there are resources across the country. So if you or someone you know needs help, you can visit sheltersafe.ca/findhelp to learn about supports in your area.
Well, the search for a missing 3-year-old boy from Quebec, allegedly abducted by his father, has expanded. The Amber Alert now covers all of Quebec and parts of northwestern New Brunswick. Jake Cote was last seen yesterday evening with his father in St. Paul, Quebec. He was wearing jeans, beige boots, and a blue T-shirt with silver stripes on the sleeves and lower torso. It also has the number 6 or 9 in blue camouflage. His father, David Cote, is described as 5'7", about 180 pounds, with brown hair, blue eyes. Police say he could be armed and that the pair could be traveling on foot or in a vehicle.
Let's turn to COVID news and the rollout of vaccine passports across Canada as provinces try to slow a growing fourth wave of this pandemic. Today, Quebec's vaccine passport officially went into effect, shutting out some unvaccinated people from restaurants, bars, and cinemas. British Columbia and Manitoba will both bring in theirs later this month, and today, Ontario bowed to pressure, announcing it too will have one. So that news came just hours before Ontario released its latest pandemic projections, showing more vaccinations will be needed to prevent another lockdown. And as Jayla Bernstein explains, there is hope the vaccine passport will help.
We will do whatever it takes.
Today, news this business owner has been waiting for.
Well, better late than never.
His hope that with the vaccine passport, pubs like his will be able to keep on serving even as cases rise.
It definitely puts a lot of the anxiety to bed.
Premier Doug Ford's announcement was an about-face, from adamant refusal back in July.
The answer is no, we aren't going to do it.
To this.
After in-depth discussions with our medical experts, we've landed on a vaccine certificate policy that is based on evidence and best advice.
That policy comes into effect on September 22nd. Proof of full vaccination will be mandatory at some non-essential businesses, including restaurants, bars, gyms, sports venues, concert halls, and theaters. To start, venues will have to check people's vaccine receipts and photo IDs. The province's digital system will be ready in late October. It will use a QR code and a verification app.
It's disappointing that we're now behind the 8 ball on this.
With more than 76% of eligible Ontarians vaccinated, the Premier bowed to mounting pressure, in part to encourage the hesitant.
We either do this or we risk shutting down the economy, which would even be worse, having our hospital capacity maxed out and at the brink, having our kids stay at home.
While a vocal minority remains opposed, experts say vaccine passports are the right call.
It really does, in a significant way reduce the risk of outbreak. And, and if you reduce the amount of people getting COVID and being exposed to it, then, you have less people in the hospital and potentially less people dying.
This pub owner is just relieved to know there's a chance he won't have to close his doors again this winter.
It's good that it's coming. It's bad it took this long. And the rollout is sloppy.
So, Jayla, the Premier hinted at the fourth wave being part of the reason for the vaccine passport, but what are the latest modeling numbers actually telling us?
Well, what really stood out to me was the number 85%. That's the number experts say of eligible people in Ontario who need to get vaccinated if we're going to avoid more lockdowns, especially as that Delta variant circulates in Ontario. And the other thing that they really focused on in these latest projections is the fact that with some workplaces reopening, with some kids headed back to school, that there's actually a possibility we could see the occupancy rates of intensive care units in hospitals surpass what we saw in the third wave. So they're really warning that we need to get those transmission rates down and we need to get more jabs in arms.
All right, Jayla Bernstein in Toronto. Thank you, Jayla.
My pleasure.
Well, Quebecers are now finding out what life with a vaccine passport is like. Their system went into effect today. But as you will see from Alison Northcott, the businesses who have to check those passports have some big concerns.
This is part of a new reality for Quebecers, showing proof of vaccination to sit in a cafe.
The minute they want to sit here and they want to lean here and go like this, that means it's inside, then I got to scan.
But he says that's better than another lockdown. The vaccine passport now applies to non-essential services like restaurants, bars, gyms, movie theaters and festivals for anyone over 12.
I'm all for it. I mean, we're on the same boat.
Je suis contre le passeport vaccinal.
He says he's against the passport because it infringes on his freedom.
And that's the app, and that's done.
Staff at this library have been helping seniors with the technology. But if you don't have a smartphone, you can print a paper copy. Visitors to Quebec don't need the QR code, but do need proof they're vaccinated and photo ID. This restaurant is one of many getting used to the new rules, but the owners worry about backlash.
We want everyone to understand that this is not our choice. This is being mandated by the government. We can be shut down if we allow unvaccinated people in here.
There's benches across the street.
Wilson Liu decided to close his restaurant's dining area, doing takeout only to bypass the passport.
We believe in its equality, it's your body, your choice. I'm fully vaccinated myself, but like everybody has their choice.
There have been protests against the passport, and the Premier says he knows some won't like it.
But I think that the vast majority of the population, they support the passport. They want a return back to a normal life.
And while it might convince some to get vaccinated, this expert says it could turn others off.
Then you also get a group of people that then sort of generate suspicion. So as many people as you gain, you might also lose as well.
For the first couple of weeks, the province says there will be a grace period to allow businesses and clients a chance to adjust to the passport. But after that, those who don't comply could be fined. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Protests against vaccine mandates sprang up in cities across the country today. The demonstrations were held in front of hospitals, one of the largest in Vancouver. In some places, hospital access was affected and healthcare workers were verbally attacked. At least one on Vancouver Island is said to have been assaulted physically. Now, many Canadian workers are now facing these vaccine mandates. Get the jab, they've been told, or lose the job. And for some, that is an incredibly difficult decision. Sarah Levitt has one man's story.
This airline worker says he's been feeling tense ever since he found out vaccination was mandatory at his work.
I'm very nervous, and I've been very anxious.
CBC News has agreed to keep his name and where he works confidential over his fears he'd lose his job.
Having a close family member that has had an adverse side effect following the vaccination, I think that it's been very difficult for us to set that aside. And I know that's one of the reasons why we've decided not to be vaccinated.
He's just one of many Canadians who will now be required to be vaccinated. Policies are being adopted at workplaces across the country. The federal government has done it, so have all of Canada's major banks and airlines.
I've got to make a choice between getting something I'm not exactly comfortable with, putting aside those issues and that worry and stress, and putting food on my table.
Unions are divided, treading the fine line between workplace safety and protecting workers from job loss. At least one airline industry union has said it categorically rejects termination as a result of non-vaccination. Other unions support vaccine mandates.
I am not supporting those that say, oh, geez, it's my right not to get vaccinated. Therefore, they're going to walk around the country like a loaded pistol.
Unionized or not, this lawyer says there will be little recourse for employees who refuse.
The employer would have to show that, they did have cause to terminate that employee, and a mandatory vaccine policy is likely to be ruled reasonable.
I think that's the toughest part, is that this is the only option that's available to you now, is vaccination. And I think that's wrong.
The airline worker says he'll hold out as long as he can, even at the risk of being fired. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, let's turn to the federal election campaign. Today, at the midpoint of the race, the Liberals unveiled their election platform, a sweeping document full of spending promises. David Cochran looks at what's in it and what Justin Trudeau's opponents are saying about it.
You have a choice about what the next 18 months and the next 18 years look like.
That's how Justin Trudeau wants Canadians to see this election, and so a platform designed to draw contrasts with his main rival.
What Erin O'Toole is doing is not leadership. Courting special interests, from anti-vaxxers to climate deniers, from the gun lobby to anti-choice organizations, failing to mention racism even once in his platform, and ripping up $10 a day childcare agreements across the country.
The spine of that argument already announced Liberal policies on vaccine mandates, climate change, $10 childcare, and new policies on guns and abortion.
Canada is a country where we stand up for women's rights, and I will not allow others to limit those rights.
Trudeau is promising to revoke charitable status for anti-abortion organizations and new regulations to make abortions more available. On guns, making it mandatory that all assault rifles be destroyed or disabled, with $1 billion for provinces to ban handguns. Wedge issues that target conservatives.
Mr. Trudeau called the election and just recycled some promises he's already failed to deliver on from the previous election.
But the Liberals aren't just targeting their right flank. There's a tough opponent on the left.
What we have in this election is a choice with Justin Trudeau, who continues to prioritize the super rich, and that hurts you. That hurts people. Or you can choose New Democrats who are going to fight for you.
The Liberal rebuttal, a tax hike on big banks and insurance companies, and a minimum income tax for high-income earners. There's also billions to make it easier to buy a home, get a doctor, and fight climate change.
It is responsible, it is prudent, and it is fully transparent.
Trudeau's responsible and prudent adds up to about $78 billion in new spending over the next 5 years. There's no plan to balance the budget, but the Liberals say the deficits will get smaller as economic growth boosts revenue. David Cochrane, CBC News, Ottawa.
So now let's take a closer look with Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton. So Rosie, what is the strategy around releasing platforms during an election?
Andrew, there's certainly no rules about it. The Conservatives and the NDP did it really early on. They had to make up ground. They had the most to gain, frankly, from starting to explain early on what their vision for the country was. A platform also gives candidates something to talk about, frankly, when they're out campaigning. The Liberals waited for a couple of reasons. First of all, they already have a record to run on, and they also weren't convinced that Canadians were paying attention in these first couple of weeks of the campaign. As you heard there from David, their platform is also fully costed. Now, that may expose them to increase criticism about some of their choices there. But from a strategic point of view, this now allows the Liberals to point to the Conservatives and the NDP and their platforms that are not yet costed. And now it becomes a conversation about who can actually afford what they are promising.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we talked about vaccine passports in Ontario earlier, and the Ontario Premier kind of weighed into the federal election, right? How might that play out?
Yeah, it may be surprising that he did weigh in, but Doug Ford blamed Justin Trudeau for not putting forward a, quote, national vaccine passport, saying other provinces wanted this to happen. That is not the case. Provinces wanted to manage this themselves. They have the data, and they've been in conversations with the federal government from the beginning about this. So as to what this means, Doug Ford's foray into the campaign, the Premier has pretty much said exactly what Liberals want him to say. First, he's finally agreed to a vaccine passport, and then picked a fight with the Liberals as a Conservative Premier. So the Liberals can now try and use this issue again of vaccine passports and mandatory vaccinations even more as a wedge against Erin O'Toole, who encourages vaccination but doesn't want it to be mandatory.
The plot thickens, as they say. Rosie, thank you.
Our reporters continue to travel with the main party leaders, and tonight we have updates from two of them. Up first, Ashley Burke with Conservative leader Erin O'Toole.
Pledging to sink money into roads, public transit systems, and high-speed internet. Infrastructure was Erin O'Toole's priority today. But many questions were about a comment he made yesterday about how he plans to balance the budget in the next 10 years without cuts.
We will hit our 3% target because we're the only party in this race that wants to see an economic recovery for all Canadians, in all sectors of the economy, all regions of the country. And we put forward a plan to get our economy surging in the right direction.
O'Toole continues to try and reassure voters he'll take a prudent approach. Tonight, he's in Montreal preparing for tomorrow's French language debate in this key province.
I'm Nick Boisvert, traveling with NDP leader Jagmeet Singh in Montreal. Today, another NDP plan to make housing more affordable. Singh says the federal government could do that by using its own land, like this federally owned, mostly empty property in Montreal, and use it to build new, affordable homes.
We believe that federal land should be used towards investing in opportunities to fight the housing crisis, to build affordable homes so that people can find something that's in their budget, a place to call home. That's our priority.
And the location of today's announcement was a strategic one. Billionaire Stephen Bronfman wants to build a stadium here and use it to bring back the Expos. Bronfman is a friend of Justin Trudeau's and a major Liberal fundraiser.
Now stay with CBC News for continuing coverage as Canada votes, including the federal leaders' English debate, live from the Canadian Museum of History in Gatineau, Quebec, next Thursday, September the 9th, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we'll break it all down in a special edition of The National with Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton, our CBC News team, and at issue.
Well, today's Liberal platform commits to accepting 40,000 Afghan refugees. That's double the current target. Right now, many are stuck in countries like Pakistan. That's where Susan Ormiston is tonight, speaking with a man who helped Canadian media cover the mission in Afghanistan. He is on a list to come to Canada, but as he and his family try to outrun the Taliban, he's terrified that time is running out. CBC News has agreed to protect his identity.
As a sign of Pakistan's fractured politics, this mosque briefly hoisted a Taliban flag when the insurgents rode into Kabul. Afghans have long taken refuge here, but some don't feel safe. Sahil was a journalist and translator working with the Canadian press and others during Canada's mission in Afghanistan. For years in Kabul and Kandahar, he helped tell the story. But as the power suddenly shifted, with Taliban closing into the capital, he was threatened.
Why did you leave Kabul?
We work against Taliban. We went against their law. We basically went against them. They were saying, do not work for foreigners, do not translate anything. I used to do everything for the Canadian press.
He fled, traveling by bus from Kabul to Kandahar. He was stopped and questioned 11 times. By then, the Taliban had taken Kandahar, so he made his way to the crowded Pakistan-Afghan border. Then, when someone shouted behind him, he panicked.
I said, they're already going to kill me. The only option I had was that to run, whether if getting killed that way or this way. So that was the last option.
Over the border, he joined his family in Quetta, Pakistan, but even there, people were asking for him. His family is here now, in Islamabad, in hiding. He's on watch all the time.
I'm just like somebody pushed me in the water, and I want to get out of that. I cannot breathe here because I cannot sleep. Once my kids sleep, then I'm looking for them. I'm looking around. I'm being threatened for 1,000 times. This time I will directly be killed. It's their regime, it's their time. It's they're in power right now.
Canada is responding to his application for refugee status, but it's slow, he says, and he's worried he'll run out of time, caught in a terrifying limbo after working in the war zone.
That's more than enough, 20 years. As we stayed with them at their time while they were there, now they have to stay with us. Now it's our time, we need their help. They needed our help, we helped them.
Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Islamabad.
Coyotes are becoming more dangerous, forcing Vancouver's Stanley Park to close at night.
These coyotes aren't scared of anybody. They're demonstrating a behavior that is extraordinary.
Coming up, 2 more children attacked. Do park goers share some blame?
Texas has banned virtually all abortions after 6 weeks, while other states follow. And
if you're in Toronto, it is a well-known sound, and today it turns 100. We're back in 2.
Welcome back. Officials in Vancouver are warning visitors to the city's iconic Stanley Park to stay away, at least for now, after yet another coyote attack, this one involving children. Renee Filipponi shows us the growing efforts to deal with a dangerous situation.
It's a place people come to unwind and relax. But this summer, a trip to Stanley Park comes with a warning. Violent coyotes have been stalking people, with 45 attacks reported so far this year.
So these coyotes aren't scared of anybody. They're demonstrating a behavior that is extraordinary.
Conservation officers believe animals are being fed by people, which is resulting in this behavior.
We've received some reports of individuals feeding wildlife for photography reasons, but also because they feel that they're doing the right thing.
One of the latest attacks happened here yesterday at 5 p.m. A family of 3 were out for a walk when they were swarmed by 3 coyotes. A 4-year-old child was bitten. Conservation officers later tracked down 1 coyote and it was euthanized. The park is now shut to visitors at night, but people are still coming in.
We're looking at probably adding fencing so that we can make sure that people who have been, going past the barricades without issue will now not be able to get past these controlled access spaces.
The park board has added more rangers and signs, but says any drastic action needs to come from the province. In a statement, the province says, given the extraordinary circumstance, it will be undertaking direct coyote management control. That includes lethal removal, but would not elaborate on how many would be culled. There are growing calls for all the coyotes to be killed now.
Well, we don't need to study the problem. We need to shoot the problem before it kills a child. That's the reality. It's sad, it's unfortunate.
Today, this family using the park says they are aware of the danger.
It's very scary, and hopefully they'll do something about it, because I don't want people to stop enjoying the park because of it.
But for now, officials are urging people to avoid Stanley Park, especially after dark, until they can get the situation under control. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Vancouver.
He may only have the job for a couple of months, but Manitoba's interim premier announced a big change today.
This really is, Steve, about setting that clean slate for a new leader.
Kelvin Gertsen says he is getting rid of the controversial Bill 64, which would overhaul the province's public education system. His party's leadership vote to replace the retiring Brian Pallister is scheduled for October 30th.
Well, next on The National, we go to hard-hit New Orleans, where many remain without power.
I haven't had power since Sunday.
Coming up, no electricity or running water, how people are enduring the misery after Hurricane Ida. Plus,
Texas has literally turned back the clock 50 years.
The U.S. Supreme Court stays silent on the country's strictest abortion law. Is it a sign of things to come? Stay with us.
Welcome back. As of today, most abortions in Texas are illegal. A state law is now in effect because the deadline passed for the U.S. Supreme Court to block it, as requested by abortion providers. Carolyn Dunn shows us how that inaction is ushering in the most restrictive abortion law in the entire country.
Just hours after the law came into effect, protesters swore they'd keep fighting. The new law bans abortion once a fetal heartbeat can be detected, about 6 weeks in, before most women would know they're pregnant. The new limit will be enforced by private citizens. They can sue anyone who helps a woman get the procedure after 6 weeks. Doctors, friends, even an Uber driver could be sued for $10,000.
Texas has literally turned back the clock 50 years. So it's an incredibly dark day, not just for the 7 million women of Texas, but also to the 80% of Americans who believe that there should be safe and legal abortion.
Our creators endowed us with the right to life.
The bill was signed in May, but a challenge delayed its impact. The Supreme Court, now dominated by conservatives, gave no response, and the clock ran out.
There was a war on my body and a war on my rights.
The Texas high school valedictorian whose speech against the bill went viral in June is devastated today.
That life-changing decision of whether or not you carry that pregnancy to term and what happens afterwards is no longer up to us.
The White House called the law outrageous and unconstitutional, violating nearly 50 years of abortion rights established under the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. Vice President Kamala Harris said this all-out assault on reproductive health effectively bans abortion for nearly 7 million Texans of reproductive age. Anti-abortion activists are celebrating, but not claiming total victory yet. The Supreme Court could still hear that challenge. If not, the Texas heartbeat law could well become a template for states trying to curtail abortion access. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Washington.
A judge in Ohio has ordered a hospital to treat a COVID patient in intensive care with ivermectin. The patient's family had a doctor outside of the hospital prescribe that drug, but ivermectin is often used to deworm horses and livestock, and it is not recommended by any public health agency as treatment for COVID-19.
Hurricane Ida's aftermath continues to cause chaos across large swaths of the southern United States. The number of dead has climbed to at least 6. Our Chris Reyes is on the ground in New Orleans, where the scope of the damage is just starting to come into focus.
We have running water for now, but we're not supposed to use it. We don't have electricity, obviously no internet, no AC.
I haven't had power since Sunday evening. I was in the middle of cooking, and that's when the lights went out. And then a couple hours after that, I couldn't make any phone calls.
New Orleans is a city shut down. This is what it's like to drive through it. Hardly any cars on the road, street lights aren't working, downed trees, debris. There's only a handful of restaurants that can still serve food, but barely.
And today we just decided to bring out our barbecue pit, grill some burgers, and try to feed people and keep our business alive.
We're just doing what the two of us can do,
Power is slowly being restored to millions in Louisiana and Mississippi after Hurricane Ida slammed the area on Sunday, knocking out a major transmission tower.
I'm on Bourbon Street, the heart of the French Quarter, normally a lively place full of bars and restaurants. Right now, very quiet, boarded up windows, everything shut down, but not a lot of damage. And some people I talked to told me they actually feel they got lucky with Hurricane Ida.
We got very lucky, very lucky. No damage.
Unlike Katrina, the levees didn't break with Hurricane Ida, but it was still the 5th most powerful storm to hit the U.S., causing billions of dollars in flood damage, and it's not over. Ida has been steadily moving north from Louisiana, hitting Tennessee, and now bringing heavy rainfall and flash flood warnings to the mid-Atlantic states. In Louisiana, it could take weeks to get everyone back in their homes.
It's the longest it ever was that we never had electricity.
You know, look, there's thousands of men and women out there in this heat working hard to get it back on. Nobody's happy with the progress thus far.
There's nothing open and all the way through Baton Rouge, and we were lucky to find this, so we just jumped off the exit, and here we are. We're in line. I'm next. That's good.
In New Orleans, the struggle for residents accessing services and staying safe. The mayor has put the city on a curfew.
People are hot. We know it. We know that people are tired, but we have to continue to remain vigilant.
President Joe Biden is expected to visit the state on Friday. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Well, hurricanes like Ida are becoming more common, according to a new report.
What we're seeing now is a higher severity, longer duration, and overlapping of natural disaster event seasons.
Coming up, human action causing more dangerous weather, but there is a silver lining. Plus,
Nova Scotia is experiencing the greatest relative sea level rise in Canada.
A group of Nova Scotians are calling on Ottawa to protect their coastline from erosion and ugly development. Next. Welcome back. With this year's flooding, drought, and wildfires, climate change is certainly on a steady march. Now, a new United Nations report on weather disasters is putting some cold, hard numbers on the worsening situation. It says 11,000 of those disasters over the past 50 years have claimed the lives of 2 million people. As Inayat Singh shows, they are becoming more frequent and certainly more costly.
A new report from the World Meteorological Organization says weather disasters around the world are happening 4 to 5 times more often today than in the 1970s.
These disasters affect everybody in the world.
Not only that, they're causing 7 times as much damage as they did 5 decades ago.
The reason for that is basically that we're building more. We're building in vulnerable areas, tropical cyclones, number one, as well as we're not building well enough.
And economic losses from disasters totaling $3.6 trillion over 50 years will continue to escalate with climate change. With devastating wildfires in British Columbia this summer, that's already being seen by the Canadian Red Cross in their disaster relief work.
What we're seeing now is a higher severity, longer duration, and overlapping of natural disaster event seasons.
But it's not all bad news. The report says weather disasters are killing fewer people than they used to. In the 1970s and 80s, an average of about 170 people a day died worldwide in climate events. In the 2010s, that dropped to about 40 per day because of better emergency preparedness in many countries. Climate change is an important issue in the federal election campaign, but some say every party's platforms need to focus more on disaster preparation.
I do think we tend to focus on mitigation. How do we prevent climate change? How do we reduce our emissions? And that's extremely important. But have probably had less attention to preparedness and adaptation.
An urgent call to action to combat climate change and to get ready for far more weather disasters in the future. Inayat Singh, CBC News, Toronto.
Environmental concerns are weighing on the minds of some Nova Scotians this election season. With so much coastline, it's no wonder the province is known as Canada's ocean playground. But as Tom Murphy shows us, coastal areas are under threat, and residents are looking to Ottawa for help.
A tour of Halifax Harbour. On board, Haligonians who want federal politicians to do more to protect the coastline.
So thank you all for joining us.
In particular, they're concerned about Halifax's northwest arm. Considered to be a city gem for its easy access to swimming, its parade of pleasure boats, and its abundance of sea life, those aboard worry it's under threat by homeowners infilling their water lots.
And if you start privatizing the waters of the arm, then you lose it. And if you squeeze the ocean, then you no longer have that vast, vast capacity that the ocean has to serve all these functions.
This is a rough idea of what one homeowner proposes to do, a massive infilling. Technically, the project could proceed, although the federal government does have an opportunity to review the project. And while the owner, a known property developer in town, isn't commenting, these people argue this kind of coastal development shouldn't be allowed at all.
Review processes don't stop projects. They authorize their harmful effects.
They want the next federal government to bring in tougher laws, not just to prevent infilling, but to police coastal development in general. And they want Ottawa to provide more help to cope with this. Climate change, which is bashing Nova Scotia's coastline. This province is literally shrinking and sinking.
Nova Scotia is experiencing the greatest relative sea level rise in Canada. And here we sit on the path of post-tropical storms and hurricanes and nor'easters, which cause extreme coastal damage in our winter months. We are going to see more and more coastal flooding, storm surge, accelerated erosion, and saltwater intrusion of fresh groundwater. Our coastline and our marine environment are under attack from the impacts of climate change, and now is the time that we need to be protecting our coastal ecosystems, not destroying them.
The call here is for Ottawa to do more to help waterfront communities adapt, build seawalls, relocate infrastructure, reinforce waterfronts, and that will take money. People are clamoring for it here.
When there are funds available, like last October, the federal government put forward a climate action fund. It was so hotly competed for by so many little parties that wanted to do things desperately that it crashed the system for application for 5 days and nobody could get their applications in.
But the argument goes that investing in coastal protection now makes financial sense down the road.
You know, we can tackle one challenge at a time, but if we don't save our citizens, those tax dollars will be doing disaster funds instead. And it's, I think, is it $1 of prevention and adaptation to $12 each disaster? So it's time to do it now.
Which brings us back to the infilling issue. It's an example, environmentalists argue, of how what we do to our coastlines now could have a lasting effect.
The issues with infilling and reclamation is that it can make the coastline more vulnerable and more susceptible to flooding and to bigger surge of storms.
Like a rising tide, concern for the coastline is growing here. The question for many this election may well be which political party offers the best plan to navigate the choppy waters ahead. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.
Next on The National, Montreal is honoring a jazz legend. We will tell you how the city is giving the music great a permanent home. Plus,
whether you love it or hate it, Toronto's Transit Commission has been around for a century. We look back at how it all started. Next.
And Aurélie Rivard is going to come home in an absolutely sensational time. The gold medalist, defending champion, world record holder, takes out her own world record in the sensational swim for Canada.
Quebec's Aurélie Rivard swimming to gold and smashing her own world record, as you heard it, by 5 seconds. And that wasn't the only gold medal for Canada in Tokyo on day 8 of the Paralympic Games. Greg Stewart from BC will be bringing one home after winning the men's shot put event in his first ever games. He set a new Paralympic record. Well, today in Canada's biggest city, public transit turned 100 years old. Now, back in 1921, Montreal was bigger and already had public buses. But these days, the Toronto Transit Commission has a scope unmatched in Canada. Greg Ross shows us how it's touched the lives of 2 everyday people.
So 100 years ago, the TTC was born.
Today, the TTC showed off some classic vehicles from the past century. Toronto's first streetcars hit the road in 1921. Back then, a ticket was 7 cents or 4 for a quarter. They've gone through many changes over the decades, as have Toronto's subways and buses.
We used to make change, sell tickets.
Driver Barry Allen worked through an awful lot of those changes.
I like going to work and I enjoy what I do.
Allen has been a TTC bus driver for 49 years and is still going strong. Today, he gave us a ride down memory lane.
Takes me back to when I was a rookie.
For the first time in years, he's back in the driver's seat of one of the first models he drove in the early 1970s.
Oh, I'd love to just take it for a whirl, I really would.
While most of the memories are good ones, Allen says these old buses could have used today's bells and whistles, like air conditioning.
It was pretty tough on a very hot, humid day. Lose 8 to 10 pounds.
That's the kind of story 14-year-old Jamie Cowrie loves to hear.
I've always liked transit.
He's what you'd call a TTC superfan. He knows just about all there is to know about Canada's largest public transportation system. And he has his own special way of marking the 100th anniversary.
I'm riding all the subway lines in order of the way they were built. I started at Eglinton and went to Union because that was the first stretch of the subway.
It'll take 2 days for Cowrie to make it through the entire system, but he says it's no big deal. His dream is to spend many years in it.
I do hope to one day retire driving a bus or a subway.
To commemorate the milestone, the City of Toronto sign at City Hall and the CN Tower will be illuminated in TTC red all night long. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
There's that sound. Montreal has settled on a way to honor one of its city's musical greats. A downtown city plaza will bear the name of Oscar Peterson,
where he made his mark on the jazz scene, but also how he did put Montreal on a map.
The great Duke Ellington nicknamed him the Maharaja of the keyboard. He was born in Montreal in the 1920s and is considered one of history's great jazz pianists. The new urban park will include immersive art inspired by Peterson's work.
It's really an overwhelming honor because it is such a significant place in the city.
In the neighborhood where Peterson grew up, the community is also celebrating.
There's a place for knowing him better and to really take him in our own.
Construction should be ready in 4 years, just in time for the 100th anniversary of Oscar Peterson's birth.
Well, up next, some people with needle anxiety are getting vaccinated with a little help from some furry friends.
And then they see the dog and you can see the relief.
We'll explain after the break. Well, this looks warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? It's a vaccine site in Montreal where nurses and animals work hand in hand. Hand in paw, perhaps. With a push to get more people in the city vaccinated, Tara Glover, the site manager, brought in some zoo therapy to help ease people's fear of needles, and it is our moment.
It's been as good for the employees as it has been for the clients. When the dog arrives, everybody has a smile on their face. I've had people who I've seen are very shut down and internalized as they come through the corner into our vaccination site, and then they see the dog and you can see the relief. You can see just the effect that the animal has on them, and it's really impressive.
He distracted me very well, so he was really good because I didn't feel the injection.
And the people that aren't coming, what we're hearing from people when they finally do come in is that it's fear. A lot of fear that's keeping them away. Not fear of the vaccine, but fear of the vaccination process. Fear of the needle, fear of the whole situation of coming here. So zoo therapy is something that we can provide for people. It's a great option that we can give them to allow them to have a way to forget about the fact that they're here getting a needle.
So I'm double vaxxed, so I don't need to go there, but I just kind of want to spend some quality time with that dog.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, for a lot of people it would be nice. I got to say, though, I'm sort of at the complete other end of the spectrum. One, because I actually don't mind needles. I think they're fine. I'm allergic to dogs, too. Okay. So it would just be a nightmare.
You don't need that, then.
That's the National for this September 1st. Have a great night.
Good night.